Hi, my name is Joanne Bolos. I'm the owner and founder of Secret of the Islands. I'm here today with Dr. Rick Corbett and Nick Washington of UPS. Dr. Corbett spoke with us last week regarding the coronavirus pandemic. Nick Washington reached out to our company last week in regards to our product. We make an antibacterial and antiviral hand scrub. To help with the cause, we've been running a special promotion with a buy two, get one free to say thank you for all the nurses and doctors and everyone that has been helping on the front lines for battling this pandemic. Nick took an interest in our company and the cause and reached out to us last week to see what he could do to help.
Correct. And Joan, the main reason why I wanted to reach out, I got in contact initially with Johnny Hoy. He told me about your product. He showed me the video. I was very impressed with it, with you and Dr. Corbett, the interview. We know that you guys, produce and manufacture hand sanitizers. With that, I know that there's a big demand in regards to hand sanitizer use. I wanted to come in, offer you guys, all the UPS shipping solutions there that we have for you. In regards to that, I know, this is a woman-owned business, so, we do place a high emphasis and value on that too as well. We definitely want to continue to work in partnership with you and your company. In regards to shipping with UPS, we want to thank you for your business as well. Anything else we can do to help out in regards to getting your products out to everyone, we're definitely here for you. And as well with Dr. Corbett, when Johnny Hoy showed me the first video, I recognized Dr. Corbett here. And with Dr. Corbett, I took one of his classes, barely got by it, but he's a true professional in what he says and does. So definitely be listening out to what Dr. Corbett here has to say. But very happy to be here, happy to help out. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
It's
good seeing you.
You too. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
That's right. Take care.
Okay, Dr. Corbett. So to, I guess, pick up or add on to what we talked about last week. Last week we really left off about the virus, talking about what we can do to deactivate the virus. From there, we talked about soaps, detergents, our salt scrub, deactivate by essentially removing the outer coating of the virus. After our video, I had some questions. One of the questions was, we discussed the virus is not airborne. It's spread through sneezing and coughing and things like that, but it goes about 6 feet and drops to the ground. So the question is, if it's not airborne, why is this virus spreading so quickly?
Well, it is not truly airborne, but it is spread by what we call droplet nuclei. And this is droplets of liquids that are produced in the respiratory tract. And the organism, well, it's not really an organism. The virus is in the droplets, and it goes just about so far and then will fall. The reason that it's spreading so quickly is because it's virulent. Most coronaviruses are virulent. That means they have the capability of infecting cells, high capability. And most likely, it doesn't take a lot of the virus to cause an infection. Now, this virus differs in that it causes a serious problem when it infects cells. Most of the coronaviruses cause a very mild problem, which we have characterized as the common cold. Now, this is not the most prominent cause of the common cold. That's rhinoviruses, but it's indeed an important one because it does do that. But the cold is so mild that it's usually not diagnosed. This is a severe problem, and it causes a great deal of malfunction of the cells that it infects.
So where did this virus originate from? There's been a lot of different, theories going around. There are some people who seem to think it was manufactured and that it's a weapon of warfare. Do you think this virus was manufactured? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the coronaviruses have been with us for thousands of years. They change, they mutate, just like other microbes. But far as where it came from, we can trace it back to a market in Wuhan, China. Now, how it got to that market is a good question and something we don't know. It could have been in some animal reservoir. We don't know for sure. As to whether it was actually manipulated by humans, there have been a number of studies done on the RNA of that virus. It appears to be the case that this is naturally occurring and that it was not in any way manipulated. So no, it is not an agent of biological warfare.
From what you said earlier, the common cold and things like that can also be the coronavirus. So this is not the first coronavirus that we've been exposed to, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We've been exposed to many coronaviruses, maybe thousands. There have been only 3 that have caused significant disease, one called SARS and one called MERS. In both cases, they pretty much were limited to one locale. They were certainly not worldwide. This one is different because it spread worldwide. And there are a lot of possibilities here as to why it was spread worldwide, including the fact that we have such good transportation. We can spread things very easily now because you can go from one country to another with great ease. But this virus is also apparently much easier to spread than some, probably because it has a lower multiplicity of infection, which simply means it probably takes a lot less virus to cause disease than maybe some of the others.
Okay. The flu, a lot of people are comparing this to the flu, which obviously it's not comparable at all. But what makes this a pandemic over, say, when kids get cold and they're spreading a cold around their school, or a stomach bug, or even the flu? What makes this so much more severe, and why is this a pandemic?
Well, the reason we call it a pandemic, which is a word that epidemiologists really don't like because we don't want to panic the public. And when you mention pandemic, very often the public gets panicked. It's only called a pandemic because it is worldwide. It's virtually in every country of the world. And in virtually every country, it actually causes disease. So, and it's significant disease. If it's the common cold, you wouldn't call it a pandemic because the disease is definitely not significant, even though it may be over most of the world.
So compared to, we met the end of last week, so I guess compared to the end of last week and over the weekend, what are we seeing as far as the case count and the percentage of people that are actually having severe complications and dying from it?
Well, since last week, the number of cases have increased a great deal, but that was not surprising. We expected it to go up and to eventually peak and then begin to go down. Usually an outbreak of a disease follows pretty much a normal distribution and has this pattern. Now, when it's going to peak or if it's peaked, we don't know. That's something we have to look at pretty much after the fact. As far as mortality rate, as of this morning, it appears to be that the mortality rate has declined slightly. And that simply means the percentage of people who have the disease actually dying from it.
Okay, so that's good news.
That's good news.
So, question and a thought. So we are seeing the cases increase significantly, whether they're doubling or tripling. Do you think that could be due to the fact that we now have more tests available and more people going to get tested than what we had, say, even 3 days ago?
Yes. Yes, indeed. We are getting to be very, very good and very accurate in testing and in diagnosis of the disease.
So testing, we have more tests available now. How accurate are our tests? How efficient is our healthcare system in, I guess, confirming these cases?
Well, early testing was not too good because we were getting a lot of false negatives. We weren't. In other countries, they were getting a lot of false negatives.
Which could also attribute to the lower reporting of numbers, I'm assuming, then, correct?
Indeed. Okay. It certainly would. We held off on testing until we had a very accurate test. This test is very sensitive, so we are picking up a larger percentage of the cases than maybe China did or some other countries that did early testing.
So do you think overall then the U.S. was a little bit behind the curve and too slow in reacting on the test?
We were not too slow. We were just being very, very particular. We were being very careful that we picked up cases and that we did not let cases slip through the cracks.
Okay.
It was a good thing.
Yeah. Also, the other day it was actually, maybe it was on Facebook or something. An article came across to me about one way an at-home treatment for the coronavirus. And I actually brought it with me today. I have my blow dryer. Have you seen any of the videos that you can treat the virus through the blow dryer? You blow it into your nose and it can kill the cells through the heat. I think it has to be 130 degrees. Try it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't recommend using a blow dryer to treat anything. First of all, sticking it into your nose or up your nose doesn't sound at all useful. The amount of heat that you would have to apply is going to certainly damage the lining of your nasal cavity and sinuses. And I would remind you that the sinuses are very close to the brain. We don't want to heat the area up to 131 degrees. I don't believe that the virus is going to be really killed by a temperature that we could subject the respiratory tract to. It's not true that viruses like cold weather over warm weather. They're around in both kinds of temperatures. The reasons that viruses tend to infect us more in cold weather is because our immunity tends to be down in cold weather, and it tends to be a lot better in warmer weather. So I would not recommend using a blow dryer. In fact, there have been studies not on hair dryers, but on bathroom dryers for drying hands, and the studies that I've read recommend that you don't use them because it simply spreads the pathogen around.
All right, Dr. Corbett, thank you for your time again, and I'll see you back here next week to discuss, I guess, the latest trends and the latest information as it comes out. Thank you.
Thank you.